Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here is my watch list for December 21st. All right, let's bring in the futures real quick. We had an amazing day today in the market. Basically called this drop right to the T, and a lot of people banked. Now, what's happening right now? We are kind of dojiing, and the market has sold off a lot. Just gonna zoom in here a little bit. We have this mini trend from today, downtrend, and it's testing it right now. Because the market has sold off so much, I really don't know if it still has room to um, come down anymore tomorrow. Basically, uh, the SPY has been dropping for the last 8 sessions now, red days, right? So it needs to consolidate a little bit, and what better to do to do that than to pick a Friday of all days, right? People don't generally like holding positions over the weekend, except especially short positions, and the point is, I mean, tomorrow I think it's going to be very choppy as a trading day in itself. I think the market might be able to come up and test this 250 area and then come right back down to the lows, and it's just going to chop sideways for the whole day. With that said, I mean, the reason why I call it being choppy is because it's so oversold, right? And this massive volume today, it's kind of like an exhaustion in volume, and then we see this long buyer's wick. So can it come down tomorrow? I'm not saying it can't come down tomorrow. I'm saying if it just sells off, there is nobody buy. If there's nobody buying, then who the hell are you going to sell to, right? So this market needs to pull back a day or something like this, maybe like a gap up, back up into the 253s, and then hammer it right back down, right? Let the 9 EMA catch up a little bit. And I think tomorrow is a very good day for the market makers to do so, and for the big boys to do so, is to kind of pull the market back up, manipulate it, and then have kind of like a little green day, fool people into buying that dip, and then hammer it back on them on Monday. So that's my thesis going in for tomorrow. Now, with that said, I did pick a few tickers for us tonight. By the way, the watch list last night was banging. I mean, Canada Goose right here. I'm just looking over it. Like, if you didn't trade this today, this was a miss. I didn't trade it. Like, pre-market $50 mark, which I called last night. Open flat, right at the whole number, risk 49, dump, right? Beautiful. Anyways, let's get on with the watch list. First up, we have NKE, Nike. Nike announced earnings after hours, and it blew out their earnings consensus and revenues. Okay, so hence we have this massive pop and a little double top here at 73.5. So naturally, I will be watching 73.5 tomorrow morning and see how it reacts. Now, at first glance, I know this is a earnings winner, and they did blow out earnings and yada yada. But if I scroll back a little bit, you can see that it's been in a major downtrend, and this chart in itself, it's very very baggy, right? I'm looking more of because it's so overextended now. Tomorrow we basically gonna see a gap up from the 66.50s area, right? So that's kind of from the 67.50s area. That's kind of where it closed. It kind of closed around, here in this area, right? So we'll see a gap, and right now it's gapping up, and we'll see a massive gap coming up. And whoever caught this dip here, they are in the jackpot right now, first of all. Second, so they're going to take advantage at the open and hope to sell. All the suckers saw the earnings report and they might buy in tomorrow at the open. They're thinking, oh my God, this thing is blowing out earnings, blowing out through the waters, and they should buy. So these guys who bought here late day on this dip, they're probably going to sell into them. With the baggy chart here, I mean, we have, for example, this day right here, whoever bought this breakout of 72 is basically a chance for them to get out. We see chart resistance here at 73 and 73.50. Whoever bought this day at 73 on December 14th, whoever bought this dip around the breakout of the 73 mark, they're going to look to sell. We have a major downtrend coming down into the chart here as well. And I'll be looking for this double top action and see how it sells off from here. Okay, that's resistance 1. Resistance 2, if this blows through, then we should get it all the way back up to 75 right here in the daily chart. Now, this 75 mark is a real bag mark, right? On this day specifically, let me see. Even this green day specifically, whoever bought this breakout of 75, they're going to want to get out. This one opened, it popped. So that shows me that people bought this 75 breakout and they got crushed. And then popped back up. I don't know if they got out yet. Some might have gotten out. Some probably bought some here as well. So I don't see it going over 75, and the stock is very overextended. So tomorrow I do anticipate it to come down and fill this gap, and my target would probably be a nice whole number of $70, if not 70.50, right? This dip is heavy. This dip after hours at 71.5. So it respected this dip very well. I want to take a look at that, where it is on the daily chart. Okay, so it's right about here, 71.5. Right. So it might dip again out the gates. It might hold for a double bottom long. But I personally like it for the massive fade, right? It really depends on what the market does as well. So my first thesis is for the short. And then if it shows me a kind of double bottom or a higher low at any of these key areas or the whole numbers areas, I might actually just long it, right? Taking a look here at the 75.50s, I mean, look at this right here. This looks more like support, 71, right? So if you're long biased, then you should be looking for some sort of a buy signal from here. Ideally a really fast downward move, and then you can put out an order and look for that dip, trying to catch that falling knife, and just set your stop a little bit below, right? Like 25 cents below, and if you lose 25 cents, no big deal, right? So that's NKE. Next up we have Roku. Roku's on my watch list because it's basically it has gone through the point of no return, right? The $30 mark I'm watching very carefully tomorrow. Okay, what this is basically the IPO highs, and it snapped it already. We are sitting a little bit under it. On the intraday chart, we see this is where it dumped out, right? And it double topped as well. Currently, we're sitting at 29.61. So I think it does have room to come down, and my idea is for it to reject 30 and bring it back down to test the lows here at 28.50. It might get a little bit higher than 30 though, because we're so close to it. So I'll be looking at 30.50 as well, right? Let's take a look at 30.50. Yeah, I'll be looking at 30.50, 30.25 as well. So lots of resistance up top. Coming into the daily chart here, this is the 30 area, which is the bottom of this wick, and then yesterday's closing price is at 30.61. So I'll be watching these two areas. All right. So watching these two areas for it to reject. Maybe it has the nuts to get back up to 31. We don't know yet, but it's following a very clean trend right now. And I definitely gonna put this on a main watch. So yeah, Roku has room to come down and test these lows, and if these lows snap, which is 28.50 right here or 29, with snap, we have all the way down to 25 next. So Roku main watch for me. Next up, we have ZS. ZS, I really like it for the daily chart. It looks like a bear flag forming, right? So we have this massive reversal candle, and then we have consolidation, and then we have a downside today. Tomorrow, I want to see it test the 39 again and see what it does. So 39 is right here. Okay, and I'll maybe give it a little bit more room and see it test 39.5 as well here, and see the next leg down, potentially hitting this 9 EMA and then failing, and probably bring it back down to the lows of today. That would be my primary target here on ZS. OKTA, another one I picked for the daily chart candle pattern, another kind of like bear flagish pattern here. I'm looking for a pop up into the 60 area. We'll have to see how 60 reacts. Key psychological whole number here, as well as 60.75. So let's take a look here. 60.75. Yeah, around this area. So on the intraday chart, I mean, this is where it dumped out 60.75, as you can see. Let me zoom in here. This is where the big boys dumped it, right here, right? And then the massive volume happened, right? So this is an area I'll be watching for the big boys to hammer it back in again. And then we're sitting a little bit under the 60 mark as well, right? So 60 key psychological whole number. I'm gonna mark that off. And I'm gonna watch for this cover pop, right? We have a nice trend forming right now, and it leads to about 61. So yeah, kind of like that. Pop up into the 60 and fail, bring it back down to the lows, and watch out for this 58 mark where the 50 SMA is. But I like it for the daily chart. This is the same daily chart pattern that I picked on Canada Goose last night, right? I mean, if I were to zoom out on one day on Canada Goose, if you take a look at this versus OKTA, it's the same daily chart pattern, right? So that's exactly why I picked it. And finally, we have AMD. Okay, so AMD, I'll be looking for the 1850s again and see how it reacts from there. Let's mark off 1850s. So anywhere 1840s to 1850s, right? You can see 1840s reacted very well. But let's put it on 1850s for now. And there's a reason why I picked it. Most likely on daily chart. So 1850s right here. Okay, so 1850s is basically all this junk here. Nice resistance here and here. Give me 1 sec here. Okay, well, nice resistance here and here. We have the 200 SMA around this 1850s areas as well as a psychological whole number. We are holding a little bit above 18, so I am watching for that cover pop. And the stock did close kind of relatively good. We do have the 1810 here, which is a key prior support, now becomes resistance though. So really need to watch that. This is where it bounced or ripped right out of the gates today, right? So really need to watch and see if it reclaims. If it does, then we could come back up. And I do like the 1850s. short it back down from there and take it down. We also have a trend line that snaps. So right here. Okay, that leads to 1850 as well. So I want to see the stock test 1850 trend and then fail and then bring it back down to 17 or at least the lows of today. So that's my plan on AMD. That's it for my watch list, 5 tickers. And I hope you guys enjoy what you watch. Make sure you check out my video link descriptions, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Ciao.